Hi, Namaste. This is Dr. B. M. Vinod Kumar, Assistant Professor of Economics, JVR Government Degree College, Sattupalli, Khammam District, Telangana State. In the previous video, I have discussed about a production method of estimating national income. And in this video, I am going to discuss about the income method of estimating national income. After watching the video, you should be able to illustrate an income method of estimating national income. So you can easily explain the income method of estimating national income. Let us go into detail. So as for the Commissioner of College and Education, Hyderabad, as we know, every lecturer has to prepare a e-content of their own subject. In this process, I am attempting this video lesson. So coming to subject, what is national income? National income is defined as the total value of all final goods and services produced by a country during the period of 1 year is called as a national income. That means the total amount of income acquired by a country from all economic activities during a period of 1 year. National income consists of a collection of money value of different types of goods and services. So we can say that national income is a flow is not a stock. Okay. Coming to measurement of national income or methods of measuring national income, there are three different ways to measure GDP corresponding to three phases of the circular flow of income. This is production, income, and expenditure. There are three different methods of measurements of national income. As the circular flow, production, income, expenditure, in the same way, the national income, measurements of national income is also can be measured in three methods. That is, one is a production method, or that, and income method, and expenditure method. In the previous video, already I have discussed about production method. In this video, I am going to discuss about income method. These three methods already, as I mentioned, production method, income method, and expenditure method. These three methods of calculating GDP yield the same result because national product is equal to national income is equal to national expenditure. Which of three methods should be used depends upon a number of factors. Coming to income method, this method is also known as a distributive share method or factor payment method. Income method measures national income from the viewpoint of payment made in the form of wages, rent, interest, and profit to the primary factors of production that are nothing but land, labor, capital, and organization or enterprise, respectively, for their productive services during the year. That means the remunerations received by land, labor, capital, and organization will be calculated while calculating the national income. Broadly, there are three steps involved in the use of income method. The step one is identification and classification of productive enterprises. First of all, we should identify and we should classify the productive enterprise. In the second step, it involves classification of factor income in two categories. And in the step three, It involves estimation of national income. Coming to step 1, what should we do? Identification and classification of productive enterprises. It should involve identification and classification of productive enterprises into primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector. After identification of all productive enterprises, we should classify the total enterprises into 3 categories, or we should keep in our mind the 3 categories of industry economy, that are primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector. It is the same as in the production method. Already we have discussed in production method. In step 2, it involves a classification of factor income into 2 categories. One is a domestic factor income, that is nothing but net domestic product at factor cost, and net factor income from abroad. That means the income earned by Indian nationals at other countries, in other countries, or other than the country. So these 2 categories of income should be calculated and should be added. Then we'll get a national domestic product at factor cost. For example, domestic factor incomes consist of the 3 components: income from work or compensation of employees. This is nothing but we can also call as a CE. Operating surplus, this is also called as a OS. Mixed income of self-employed, or we can also call this one as a MI or MISC. Coming to domestic factor income. What is domestic factor income? Domestic factor income consists of income from work or compensation of employees, operating surplus, and mixed incomes of the self-employed. As already in the previous slide I have discussed this one. Domestic factor of income consists income from the worker or compensation of employees or operating surplus and a mixed income of the self-employed. Domestic factor income is the income generated with the within the domestic territory of a country by all producers. Domestic factor income is the income generated within the domestic territory of a country by all producers. Domestic factor income consists of the following components. One is income from work or compensation of employees. Compensation of employees means nothing but the salaries of employees. Operating surplus, that is nothing but profits. A mixed income of the self-employed. That means total domestic factor income is equal to, we can say symbolically, total domestic factor income is equal to CE, that means compensation of employees, plus OS, that means operating surplus, plus mixed income of self-employed, that is nothing but MISC. Okay, coming to income from work compensation, income from work or compensation of employees. Compensation of employees or income from work included the following components. First one is payment made by the producer in the form of wages and salaries in cash or kind. Payment made by the producer in the form of wages and salaries paid in cash or kind by the producer to the laborers or the employees. However, it does not include any facility which is necessary for work and in which employees do not have any discretion. For example, uniforms to be worn during work only. are vehicles to be used for work only. And the second one, such payments are immediate consumption of business enterprises. Social security contributions by the employers on behalf of their employees and retirement pensions. Okay, so payment income from work or compensation of employee means compensation of employees or income from work means payment made by producer in the form of wages and salaries in cash or kind. But it does not include the facility which is necessary for work and in which employees do not have any discretion. For example, in the form of uniforms and these are all kinds. Such payments are intermediate consumption of business enterprises and social security contributions by the employers on behalf of their employees and retirement pensions. These are all comes under intermediate payments. Next, operating surplus. An important form of domestic factor income is operating surplus. Operating surplus is defined as the total income earned by a firm during the production process from property and enterprises in the form of rent, interest, and profit. Rent, interest, and profit. These are all comes under operating surplus. Rent and interest and profit earned by the producer is called, these are all comes under operating surplus. In brief, operating surplus is the income from property and entrepreneurship. Symbolically, we can say operating surplus is equal to income from property plus income from entrepreneurship. Income from property includes rent, interest, and royalty, while income from entrepreneurship includes profit. Here we should keep in our mind what is the profit. So, see, profit means the operating surplus. We can also say OS is equal to rent plus interest plus royalty plus profit. Again, there are three components in profit. Dividend is payment made to the shareholders of an enterprise. Dividend is payment made to the shareholders of enterprise. Here we should keep in our mind that dividend paid by one firm to another is not included, as it is already included in the profit of the firm which pays it. Corporate tax, one is dividend and second one is corporate tax. Corporate tax, also called as a corporation tax, is a tax paid by an enterprise to the government. And undistributed profits. Undistributed profit is the profit retained by enterprise for capacity expansion or modernization or technical upgradation. These are all included in the profit. Dividends, corporate taxes, and undistributed profits are included in the profit. So profit means it includes dividends, corporate taxes, undistributed profits. Coming to mixed income of self-employed. Third one, domestic factor income also include mixed income of the self-employed. Mixed income of self-employed can be defined as income on own account of workers and profits and dividends of uncorporated enterprises. That means self-employed can be mixed income of self-employed can be defined as income of own account of workers, income earned by the workers, or profits earned by the workers, or dividends earned by the workers of uncorporated enterprises. Sometimes it becomes difficult to distinguish clearly between the wage income and the non-wage or property income. For example, a piece of land can be cultivated partially by the landowner and his family members and partially by the hired labor. Similarly, in case of a sole proprietorship, it is difficult to distinguish between the wage income and property income. In undeveloped countries such as India, the households who also act as producing units do not maintain proper income accounts. The impact of mixed income of the self-employed was introduced in national accounting to sort out such problems. So, coming to second one, after the domestic factor income, the second one is net factor income from abroad. What is net factor income from abroad? Net factor income from abroad is defined as income attributable to factor services rendered by normal residents of the country to the rest of the world, less factor service rendered to them by the rest of the world. NFIA, net factor income from abroad, includes net compensation of employees, net income from property and entrepreneurship, net retained earnings of resident companies abroad. See, in detail, net compensation of employees. The net compensation of employees receivable from the rest of the world is the difference between the compensation of employees received by the nationals or residents of the country abroad and similar payments made to the rest of the world. If the net compensation of employees is positive, it will be added domestic factor income. It will be added to domestic factor income to estimate national income. Hence, national income will be more than domestic income. Conversely, if net compensation of employees is negative, then it will be subtracted from the domestic factor income, to estimate national income. Hence, national income will be less than domestic income. If net compensation of employees is positive, then it will be added. If negative, it will be deducted from the net domestic factor income. Okay, it is clear. Next, coming to second one. Net income from property and entrepreneurship. Just as we includes the net compensation of employees, we also include in net factor, we also include the net factor income from abroad to the net earnings of the property and entrepreneurship. Earnings from property and entrepreneurship include rent, investment, dividends, royalties, and profits. Earnings on this account by Indian nationals abroad are added, whereas those by the foreign nationals in India are to be deducted. Earnings of this account by the Indian nationals abroad, Indian nationals who works in abroad are added. Earnings of other nationals, foreign nationals in India are to be deducted. Domestic factor income will increase if the payments made to the rest of the world by way of rent, by way of interest, by way of profits and dividends are less than the payments received on these accounts abroad and vice versa. That means domestic factor income will increase if the payments made to the rest of the world by way of these net income from property entrepreneurship are less than payments received on the accounts of abroad and vice versa. And coming to a third one, net retained earnings of companies abroad. The net retained earnings of resident companies abroad refer to the difference between the retained earnings of the resident companies located abroad and the retained earnings of the foreign companies located in the domestic territory of the country. Okay, next step. In the step 3, it involves estimation of national income. For the purpose, we proceed as follows. Income paid out by each producing enterprises can be measured by multiplying the number of units of each input employed by the income paid to each unit. This result will be the income generated by the each enterprises. That means income paid out by each producing enterprises can be measured by multiplying the number of units of each input employed by the income paid to each unit. This result will be the income generated by each enterprises. Income generated by all these enterprises in a particular sector can be found out by adding the incomes paid out by each enterprise. By adding the incomes paid out by all the industrial sectors, we get net domestic income or net domestic product at factor cost. Net domestic product at factor cost. That means by adding the incomes paid out by all the industrial sector, all the entrepreneurs will get net domestic income or net domestic product at factor cost. From net domestic product at factor cost, that is NDP at factor cost, we can derive the value of net national product at factor cost. Like this, net national product at factor cost is equal to net domestic product at factor cost plus net foreign net income earned from abroad, NIFA. So net factor income from abroad. That means NDP at factor cost is nothing but, see here NDP at factor cost is equal to CE plus OS plus MISC. CE and OS plus MISC plus NIFA is equal to NNP at factor cost. Okay, so coming to domestic factor income and national income. The concept of national income is a broader concept. National income is equal to domestic factor income plus net factor income from abroad. DFI plus NFIA. The concept of domestic factor income is related to the income generated by the normal residents within the domestic territory of the country. The sum of domestic factor income and net factor income from abroad is called as national income. Domestic income will be greater than the national income if the net factor income from abroad is negative, if it is minus value. And domestic income will be less than national income if net factor income from abroad is positive. That means is plus values. So if NFI is plus, then national domestic income will be if domestic income will be greater than national income if net factor income from abroad is negative. For example, NFI is a negative, then domestic income will be greater than the national income. If NFI is a positive, domestic income will be less than the national income. So, like this, we can calculate the national income, and while calculating national income, while estimating the national income through the income method, some precautions should be taken. precautions in the estimation of factor income are, in order to have correct estimates of national income based on income method, the following precautions must be taken. One is income from the sales proceeds of second-hand goods should be excluded. However, the commission charged by the broker on such transactions should be included in the national income. Illegal income, for example, the income of smugglers, black markets, should be excluded. However, to the extent that incomes generated from such transactions may be used in illegal transactions, these should be included. Also, such incomes are included if the transaction is made with the mutual agreement between parties. And windfall gains, such incomes from lotteries should not be included. Okay, and some more precautions should be taken. Imputed rent of self-occupied accommodation should be included. Transfer payments should be excluded. And corporate tax is part of profit earned by enterprise. It should not be separately included in the national income. As wealth tax, death duties, gift tax are paid out of current income or fast savings, these should not be included in the national income. Value of production for self-consumption should be included. Capital gains refer to the income from sale of second-hand goods and financial assets. Any income arising from such transactions is not a factor income, as these transactions are not productive transactions and do not add to the current flow of goods and services in the economy. And difficulties in estimations. Estimation of national income by income method poses various difficulties. The major difficulties are, it is difficult to estimate mixed income. Mixed incomes are earned by the unincorporated sector, the unorganized sector, and it is difficult to get reliable information from such unorganized sector. Interest on national debits is not included in national income as per the National Income Convention, on the assumption that government borrowings are used for consumption. That means unproductive purposes. However, some economists object to this since a part of the government borrowings is used for productive purposes. So, some more difficulties are, income recovered are generally calculated from income tax returns. Therefore, income method is of limited use in underdeveloped countries because a very small part of the income earners are taxpayers in these countries. Income method of estimating national income is useful because it provides information about distribution of national income among the various factor categories like shares of wages, and profits, rent, like this in the national income. So, the income method is very essential and very important method for developing countries to know the factorial distribution of national income. So, this is the national income estimations of income method. By in this video, I can say, by watching this video, you are able to explain or you are able to understand the concept of income method of national income estimating. In the coming video or in coming next video, I would like to discuss the national income estimations method 3, that is expenditure method. So please keep viewing and make suggestions and ask our questions if any questions or suggestions. So, to my mail ID, that is bazozuvinod@gmail.com. Thank you. Thank you very much.